We are living in a police state. These are the words of Bobby L. Rush, the civil rights era leader and co-founder of the Illinois Black Panthers, tweeted in response to this from his president.
Today I have strongly recommended to every governor to deploy the National Guard in sufficient numbers that we dominate the streets. If a city or state refuses to take the actions that are necessary to defend the life and property of their residents, then I will deploy the United States military and quickly solve the problem for them. I am your president of law and order. We will succeed. Our country always wins.
Tough talk from a leader who 5 months out from an election is on increasingly shaky ground.
We are witnessing a failure of presidential leadership at a time when this country, when we the people need it more than ever perhaps in our lifetime.
However, Donald Trump knows who his supporters are and how to appeal to them.
I am mobilizing all available federal resources, civilian and military, to stop the rioting and looting, to end the destruction and arson, and to protect the rights of law-abiding Americans, including your Second Amendment rights.
The speech follows sensational leaked audio from a conference call between the president and state governors.
You have to dominate. If you don't dominate, you're wasting your time. They're going to run over you. You're going to look like a bunch of jerks. You have to arrest people and you have to try people. And they have to go to jail for long periods of time.
He wants to make this about looting because he doesn't want to talk about the killing of Mr. Floyd. And he doesn't want to really talk about racism and discrimination.
But hundreds of kilometres away in Minneapolis, it was the brother of slain George Floyd who called on Americans to calm down and remember the power of their democracy.
If I'm not over here blowing up stuff, if I'm not over here messing up my community, then what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? Let's do this another way. Let's stop thinking that our voice don't matter and vote. Not just vote for the president, vote for the preliminaries, vote for everybody. Educate yourself and know who you're voting for. And that's how we gonna hit them.
Powerful words. Steve Clemens is our man in Washington. Steve, thanks so much for joining us tonight. What's been the reaction to Trump's speech?
Well, I think it's been overwhelmingly negative in most quarters because we haven't heard a United States president in anyone's life alive today say that he would deploy the American military against U.S. citizens around the United States. So it's a remarkable moment for us.
Is it what you're expecting? We heard that he was likely to deliver an address. Is that the address that you thought he would deliver?
No, it's not, because I thought a lot of people, both inside the White House and then also people that were Republican leaders in the Senate and the House were counseling the president to dial back his language. So what the president did tonight is he doubled down and he told governors that they needed to dominate their publics and that if they didn't do it, he was going to do it. So it was a strange moment, and I think we're all trying to figure out what it means. But we know that we're entering new territory for our country in terms of our political leadership, in terms of how to handle COVID, how to deal with race relations, and how to deal with our election in November.
I want to observe that Trump has given really good speeches, unifying speeches at certain moments in the past. He often then undermines them a few days later, but he does give them. He's chosen not to on this occasion. Why do you think, what's actually going on that means he's decided to move in that direction this time?
This is a unique and new behavior in general, but what is not new is his ability to distract. We've had over 100,000 Americans die from COVID under his watch. I was there the day that he said that we had just 15 cases in the United States, and they would probably diminish to zero. And since then, 100,000 people have died. And that is a black spot on his presidency and on his competency, or at least the perception of that. And so some people think that part of this pugnaciousness that we're seeing from him is an effort to distract from that and to turn the story into one of lawlessness versus him being a law and order and a protector of people's liberty and their property.
He invoked something called the Insurrection Act.
Of 1807.
Extraordinary, yeah. So this is a 213-year-old piece of legislation. Right. And as I understand it, I'm just going on media reports I've seen today, the idea is it's there so that a government can stop a rebellion Like it's basically trying to quash a civil war from happening. He hasn't invoked it officially yet. Will he, or is this rhetorical flourish?
I think it's rhetorical flourish, but one doesn't know. You know, the problem is the president is not a dictator, even if he would like to be and would refer to an act like this. You have a chamber of the legislative branch of government controlled by a party that is not his. And so they can restrict him, they can pass laws, they can inhibit a lot of the power in this case that the president has, or at least I think he can. And I think it's that element that the president is drawing out a nasty strain of jingoism, if you will, in the United States. And it's disconcerting to a lot of folks. Will he succeed? I would say no, not likely to, because Democrats don't elect the president of the United States, nor do Republicans. Independents do. And independents typically vote not on party basis, but on one's character, one's judgment. You know, how do they deal with crises? How do they deal with problems? And so whether it's the COVID crisis or how he's behaving with reaction to, you know, these protests against police brutality in the United States, I don't think that the independents are going to hang with him. And I think that really endangers his chances in November.
Steve, I think we've asked you questions we never thought we'd imagine asking, and we've heard answers from you we never imagined we'd hear, which underscores what kind of moment this is. Thank you very much for your time tonight.
Thank you very much. Take care now.
We have to take a break. There's lots more to talk about. We'll be back soon.